your host, Shauntel Leeson. We're the online talk show and financial education series for financial professionals looking for a place to market their services. You're watching Money Talk Viewpoint, and I'm Shauntel Leeson. Successful businesses have one thing in common, and it's the right clients, prospects, and customers.
Family office, I'm sure you're aware, the concept came, I believe it started with the Rockefellers. And what it is when somebody has, or a family has so much money, they can afford to hire a team of financial professionals like myself, CPAs, estate planning lawyers, tax mitigation specialists that are on their staff that can help basically reach their financial potential, right?
Do it without touching my savings.
Wow.
And it's all about how I manage my cash.
But what are the risks involved in that?
None.
An exciting thing with franchising is that it gives you a chance to build generational wealth, adding an additional business model, or it can be wealthy individuals, family offices, private equity, high net worth individuals.
I honestly was like, I might have to get out of this business because I don't want to sell. I want to add value, right? And so I said, well, and I just asked a very simple fundamental question. Are there characteristics of companies and stocks in today point in time that tend to lead towards outperformance a year from that date? It's a pretty simple question. Like, do I buy low PE stocks that tend to be at a good value? Or do I buy high PE stocks that tend to be those growthy fund names that can explode in the upward trajectory? And I just did what happened. And I started looking at all the different characteristics to see if there were any statistical advantages in the marketplace. And I said, if there are these advantages, why not just buy those stocks? Let's forget all the other stuff and just buy the stocks with those advantages now.
I've seen how all the way from pre-seed, seed to late stage exit public companies run. And I'm very privileged to get invited to a lot of family offices, summits and events and conferences to speak, to talk about investment, talk about mentoring the next gen, talk about much about the mindset and soft side on human beings, right? Whether
Right.
you're leading generation that are boomers primarily. And you guys, some of you guys might know that about $65 trillion, about $60 to $70 trillion are going to get transferred to the next gen.
Impact investing often gets confused with ESG. ESG really is a measurement tool used to evaluate investments in several non-financial aspects, as you mentioned, the environmental, the social, and the governance. And typically, ESG is associated with publicly traded securities, at debt or equity securities. More often, sustainable investing or impact investing is associated with private investments where there are specific outcomes, typically environmental or social outcomes that are expected from those investments. And it is interesting to talk to folks about how their own journey toward impact investing and where it fits within their overall family strategy. It's also thought of in terms of value-based investing, where particularly high net worth individuals and family offices can, quote unquote, invest their values.
And sometimes you don't know that virtual family office exists. All I knew was the big family offices, because when you work for the big firms I've worked for, they have their own sort of family office built intact. But when it comes to that market, the area where I didn't have that access to them. So, but then, because I didn't have the billionaire clients, I had good clients, millionaires, but I didn't have their heart is in your hand. You feel like, do I want to do this to this person? Yeah. Look at the risk I'm going to put him in all that same bucket of products just so that he gets a bigger bonus. It just, to me, is a world that a lot of people do not understand. And for those of you who are peeling out of your firms, going to set up a private practice for yourself, I would well recommend you take that next step. Reach out to me here at Money Talk Viewpoint, right here on our YouTube channel, and we'll guide you into the elite resource team, because you want to be able to make the smart decisions. Anything you want to say before we wrap up here? I'm Shauntel Leeson from Money Talk Viewpoint with a financial education podcast for investors. We invite guest speakers to share their expertise.
The different characteristics to see if there were any statistical advantages in the marketplace. And I said, if there are these advantages, why not just buy those stocks? Let's forget all the other stuff.
The advisors are serving in these roles. The family offices are serving in these roles. New structures allow for family members to serve in the roles that they should be in, not the ones that they shouldn't be
Because a
in.
lot of people that love what they do, they're not retiring at 65. Okay. Got it? I'm like that. Why should I stop working what I want, passionate, contributing, and inspiring the society?
That most people don't know, and most business owners don't know, is that as a CPA, you have different avenues, just like
Our own focus within Impact is renewable energy, and our fund is oriented towards higher net worth individuals, family offices, foundations, endowments,
We're now creating financing scenarios at an interest rate that the bank would never give.
Most people need general liability. That is, like I said, it protects you if you're sued, if you're liable by a third party. And also, like I said, it includes product liability most of the time.
So I started with the private aviation, and then it just kind of led into a global white glove concierge.
So I work with Beyonder Holdings. We are a outdoor hospitality investment company. So we actually purchase and manage RV campground resorts and marinas all across the country. And we purchase these with investors that come on board with us through syndications. We, of course, love to work with family offices and private equity groups as well that can help fund these purchases.
Both happens in really three different ways. That is acceleration of strategies and implementing those strategies using AI tools. Number two would be to establish efficient operations. And number three is ultimately scaling to grow past limitations.
Some people retire at the end of their career. And then there are those of us that open a new chapter. Now, there's no right or wrong. It's just a matter of choice. Come join us in Investor Financial Education Series and learn about choices.